Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invests. For those of you who don't know, I'm Alex. I'm a business owner with a degree in economics, and today the markets are a little bit mixed to higher. So I went with a conservative light green, as we can see. But stocks that are not just light green, but very green over the past few days now is the hydrogen industry, specifically FCell. Today alone gained 22%, and over the last week gained as much as 54% on this stock. And this is exactly what I said was going to happen after their public share offering just a few weeks ago now. That is, they had their public share offering, they came down right to that $8-ish price, a little bit lower even, and then after that I said we're going to see this stock continue up past that last all-time high. But we'll probably do another separate video on FCell in my next video I will be posting. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about a brand new stock that I just invested in yesterday, and that's Mountain Valley MD, which is essentially a health slash tech stock focusing on the way that drugs can be administered into the human body and into animals' bodies, right? Now, what I'm most excited about for this stock is their Quicksome Tablets, which are basically a substitute for administering drugs. Instead of needing needles to administer them, you can now take them orally. Now, this is something that is normally not possible, but because of their patented technology, they've been able to find a way. Now, again, this is one of those small cap Canadian penny stocks here, and I like these because I'm a Canadian investor, and I do like investing in Canadian companies, especially when they're still so small and have a lot of potential to grow. I mean, we can even see just from December 10th onwards, that was when the big news came out about their preclinical trials, and we'll go over that in a second, but just in that time alone, they jumped 300+% here, and it just shows you where these stocks can go. Now, yes, it is risky, of course, and it is speculative because they have only done those preclinical trials, so I wouldn't put too much money in. The first thing I wanted to mention though is why we saw a big downturn in the stock lately, and that is because of their private share offering that they have just completed now on December 22nd, and we did see a 20% drop yesterday and another 16% as of right now drop today again. So maybe I pulled the trigger a little bit too early on this one, but I will be picking up more shares after this video is posted, looking for that best price throughout the day, because I do see a turnaround coming in this one because of what they have. And they had a lot of downward pressure on the stock because of this private offering, which is obviously not great for investors who are already invested, but great for people who have not invested yet. So that is good. And yesterday I did only nibble, and today I will probably only nibble again, because who knows what will happen tomorrow. Will there be a reversal back to positive? It's hard to say, but we're going to get into that when we get into the chart at the end of the video. Now, the gross proceeds of the offering were about $4.3 million, and they plan on using this money in order to advance the formulation of research and development, their preclinical trials, as well as patent management and general working capital purposes. Of course, that last one is always in there for any share offering. So that's what they plan on using the money for. But what does this remind you of? Basically, so many other stocks that have lately been doing public offerings, including FCell, right? We saw this already with FCell. It went down, right? Had a lot of downward pressure, hit that bottom at that $7, that price floor, and since then we just kept going up, right? And of course I see a similar thing with this stock moving forward. They've had very good upward pressure lately, and then this downward pressure is a great time for you guys to buy in, for me to buy in. Anyways, let's get into their big run of over 300% here since December 10th. And that is because they had very positive news on their preclinical trials for their solubilization technology. And that is basically for their Quicksome technology. They confirmed an 800% increase in ivermectin absorption with their solubilization technology, right? And this is great because they used both injection formats and their Quicksome technology to determine the efficacy of their Quicksome technology, and it turns out that it is very, very effective. And of course, this is only in preclinical trials, and now we still have to move on to clinical trials. So this is partially speculation, and there is obviously still high risk involved in this company because we don't know what will happen in clinical trials. Of course, if clinical trials do well, this technology is going to be very, very big. And the reason for that is because it is so much more economically viable than having to inject people for these drugs. I mean, we can even move this to vaccines. They are looking at vaccines for their Quicksome technology too here, like the COVID vaccine, for example, which could eventually be administered orally with their technology, right? So we start to see, if this is possible, that every single drug which is now needed to be injected, at least a lot of them will be using Quicksome because it is cheaper to produce and cheaper to administer. It's also much easier to take with you and to transport. And because of the economic advantages for it and making it so much easier to administer these drugs, it does make it viable and it does fill a gap in the health system that we currently need, because it just makes it so much easier to be able to administer these drugs worldwide, right? And so much cheaper to do so. Now, this preclinical trial specifically was for a drug called ivermectin. Now, I did just mention this, but I wanted to go through what it is. Now, it's basically a drug that helps against many different viruses. So being able to prove that this drug can be administered orally instead of with a needle means that it has potential to do the same for many other drugs, including vaccines. Sure, they will have to test it with other drugs too, but this is the one they have focused on. And they will have to do a few more preclinical trials before they move into those clinical trials now, because this is just with one drug, but they can start now, really. Now, this technology is obviously great for humans, right? But there's another aspect of this that they are working on, and that is for oral administration for animals, right? For farm animals. And we have to think about this for a second here as well, because farm animals like chickens and cows and stuff, they get parasites and viruses as well. And that can be very, very damaging for the entire supply chain. And so being able to administer these drugs orally to animals as well can be very big, because it is, again, cost effective. And this is a big barrier in the farming industry specifically, because they already have quite small margins that they're working with. So being able to have technology which makes it cheaper to administer these drugs will also give a higher margin for those farmers. And that is definitely something that they will be very willing to adopt, in my opinion. So that is a whole nother industry that they're in that can be very, very big moving forward, as long as this technology ends up being successful. And that is the very big if that we need to look at here. This is a speculative company at this point. We don't really know yet if this whole process is going to be successful. So if they come out with more preclinical trials and they come out with more clinical trials, that's when this technology is really going to be proven and really going to explode as a company. But that's why we want to get into this one early. All right, now I just wanted to go into the stock chart with you guys quickly here. So as we can see, as of December 10th, which is right here, that's when the news came out, right? Huge run, 300+% here, right? At the highs. And then obviously unsustainable, and because of their share offering, we come down from there all the way to here at the 0.45 level. Now we can already see a bit of a reversal again upwards, but again, if we look at this trend line now, it doesn't hit many points, but it hits this one and this one, right? And with that, we could see maybe a little bit more consolidation here up until this trend line, and then another upturn, right? Of course, if we come down from here, it may jump off of that again as well. I do not see it coming back down to the 0.29 level, and that is why I will be picking up more shares today, like I said. But we can see as well, the amount of volume since December 10th has gone up an incredible amount, and that is also a reason we've seen such a huge run here, right? I mean, look at this. right? Compared to back here, we have nothing. So with this big volume, and we continue to see massive volume here, I do see the stock coming back up. And if we look at the MACD here, we do see a reversal happening here, and that may trigger an uptrend back up higher again. So after this huge 30+% drop we saw, you really can't go too wrong with investing in them right now, especially if volume continues here moving forward, which I have a feeling it will. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment as always. And other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. A Merry Christmas to you all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.